Hi everyone, this is Ramya. Welcome to my channel. So in the previous classes we have learned about gerunds, infinitives, and the third type is participle. As I have already said you in my previous videos, in non-finite verbs there are three types. First one is gerund, second one is infinitive, third one is participle. If you have not seen those classes, you can go to my videos and you can learn about gerunds and infinitives. Now the third type is participle. So there are three types in participles. First one is present participle, second one is past participle, third one is perfect participle. So present participle is in the form of V1 plus ing. In a sentence we can find these present participles in the form of V1 plus ing. So many students get confused between these gerunds and present participles. So there is lot of difference. Gerund plays a role of noun, whereas this present participles, all the participles play the role of adjective and verb. So these are called verbal adjectives. And the second one is past participle. So these past participle end up with ed, d, t, en or n. So generally all the V3 forms are past participles. And the next one is present participle. So we can find this past perfect participle in the form of V1 plus ing and V3. The combination of both verbs V1 plus ing and V3. Let's say for example, having done, being taken. So these are the examples. Now let us learn about these three participles in detail in this video. I will clarify all the doubts related to the normal finite verbs or main verbs and gerunds, these participles. Okay. So friends, now let's learn about present participles in detail. This present participle is a verbal adjective. What do you mean by this? These present participles play the role of adjective and verb, partially verb and partially adjective in a sentence. It's not only a verb, it also plays the role of adjective. It qualifies the noun and it represents ongoing actions. So the action was going on. So at that time we can use this present participles. For example, I met a boy playing the cricket. So in this sentence, can you identify the subject? I is subject and met is a finite verb because it describes about the subject and it changes with respect to subject. It is an important verb or main verb in the sentence. I met a boy. This is second object. Playing is present participle, the cricket. So we can also express this sentence in like this. I met a boy who was playing the cricket, which means that was ongoing action. He was playing the cricket. That was an ongoing action. That's why we use present participle. Here this playing is telling something about the subject. It is describing something about the noun. So which describes about the noun is called adjective. It is qualifying about the subject and it is also acting like a verb here. Playing the cricket. Yes, he was playing the cricket. It qualifies the noun as well. What he was doing, he was playing the cricket. And it also describes about the noun. That is, here it is pronoun. I met a boy who was playing the cricket. So we can eliminate that. We can omit that who was or while. Here, while and who was. So we can eliminate all these pronouns here. Why? Because this present participle is used for ongoing actions. Now the next example is, we saw your son jogging in the park. Here we is subject and saw is action. It's a finite verb. Your son jogging in the park. Here what you have understood based on this sentence? In this sentence, this jogging is telling something about this boy. We saw your son. Who is that jogging? Son was jogging in the park. It is qualifying that noun, and it is also telling about what is this son was doing in the park. He was jogging in the park. It is acting like a verb and it is acting like an adjective. It is qualifying that noun. So that's why here this jogging is present participle. As per the structure, we have jog plus ing, jogging. In this sentence, playing is non-finite verb, that is present participle. Once observe this next example. I met a girl carrying a bag of vegetables. Here I is subject and met is finite verb. A girl carrying, a girl who was carrying at that time. When you met that girl, at that time she was carrying a bag of vegetables. So here this carrying is present participle. It also acts like partially verb and partially adjective. It is qualifying that girl, what that girl was doing at that time when you met. And it is also acting like an adjective. It is qualifying that girl. It is describing about the girl. Next example. The man carrying a red basket is my father. Or you can also replace this present participle with holding. Whatever ing form we can use, because it is present participle. We can use ing form. The man is subject here, but after the subject, where is the main verb? There is no finite verb here. But directly here we got carrying, present participle. After the subject, immediately we have present participle. A red basket is, this is finite verb. That is finite verb. Here this carrying or holding. So what is this telling about? This telling about that man who was holding or who was carrying that a red basket. A red basket or that red basket is my father. So this is telling about that man, and it is playing the role of adjective because it is qualifying that noun. So it is describing about that noun, and also it is telling what that man was doing. He was not just standing there or not just sitting there. He was carrying. We can use any main verb here in the place of this carrying. So can I tell you what is the difference between normal verb V4 form and this carrying, this present participle? Here there is no helping verb. After the subject, definitely we should have one helping verb. If it is like this, the man is carrying. In that case, this carrying plays the role of verb, action verb. That is V4 form. But here there is no helping verb. So that's why directly after the subject, here we have carrying, this present participle. So easily we can identify. This is like a code. Easily we can identify whether it is action verb or whether it is present participle. Easily we can understand. Actually many students get confused about these verbs and this present participle. If they get the verb at the beginning of the sentence, they think that this is something, this is not a verb, this is something, and they will stuck in the middle and they will leave reading also. But when we get this ing form at the beginning of the sentence, definitely it might be a gerund or present participle. That's it. If we get after the subject or before the object, if we get that ing form in the middle of the sentence, then that is a main verb. That is the only difference between this present participle and V4 form, that is action verb, the main verb. So I hope you have understood this present participle. Now let's learn about past participles. It represents completed actions. In present participles, we have seen that it represents ongoing actions, whereas in past participles, it represents already completed actions. Ends up with ed, n, en, t, d. So the verb in this past participle, generally V2 forms and V3 forms, they end up with ed, n, en, d, t, d. So this is about past participle. Now let's see some examples for clear understanding. First example, driven by hunger, comma, he stole a piece of bread. What is the meaning of this? So he was feeling so hunger, so that's why he stole a piece of bread. But to avoid that lengthy sentences, here we are using past participles to give the reason for stealing the bread. In this sentence, we are giving reason. What is the reason? He was feeling hungry. That's why he has stolen a piece of bread. So, to avoid these lengthy sentences and adding some conjunctions in the middle directly, here the topic of past participle comes into picture. Driven by hunger. So, here this driven is past participle. Here you can see en, right? So, this is V3 form. Drive, drove, driven. This is V3 form and this is past participle. Driven by hunger. He stole a piece of bread. So, here it is playing the role of adjective and also it is playing the role of verb. So, it was driving crazy, he was feeling hungry. So, this is giving the reason. That's why he stole a piece of bread. Here this driven is past participle. Encouraged by his friends, comma, he gained confidence. Here this encouraged is past participle. His friends gave lot of encouragement. So that's why he gained lot of confidence. That is the meaning of this sentence. So to avoid that lengthy sentence formations and to save time in spoken English, we use this past participle. Here if you observe, see this first point, completed actions. So if you apply that here, definitely by this sentence we can easily understand that that action was completed already. Encouraged by his friends, which means if we divide this sentence into two parts, his friends encouraged, full stop. This is a simple sentence. And one more sentence, he gained confidence. Here we are joining these two sentences into one simple, one compound sentence. Encouraged by his friends. So this is already happened, past tense. So that's why it is past participle. One more example. Beaten by his parents, comma, he left his house. So here if you observe, en is there. At the end of the verb, we have en. Beaten by his parents. What is the meaning of this? His parents have beaten him. That's why he left his house. That is the meaning of this sentence. But in short form, to make it short, here we are using past participles. Beaten by his parents, comma, this is the reason for this action. He left his house. One more example. Deceived by his friends, comma, he lost hope. Here, deceived is already completed action. This is V3 form and that is a quality of past participle and it represents completed action. It is already completed. His friends deceived him. That's why he lost hope. So this is the reason for this action. So this is called past participle. Time misspent is time lost. If we waste the time unnecessarily, if we spend time in a useless manner, which means time is lost. So that spent time is lost. Time misspent is time lost. Here misspent is V3 form and this is already completed action. So we can divide this sentence into two forms like I misspent my past time. That time was lost. I cannot get the time back again. Time has got wings. So here this misspent is past participle. It is denoting the past action, which means completed action, and it ends up with T here. So these are the examples of past participle. And next, now we will learn about perfect participle. So in the title we can see that perfect form. What are the perfect forms? All the V3 forms are perfect forms. What is this participle? V1 plus ing form. So by combining these both forms, we will get perfect participles. So it begins with, generally it begins with having and being, or we can also use some other verbs plus ing forms followed by the perfect form. Completed at some past time. So if we are using this perfect participle in the sentence, it indicates that that action has already been completed long time back. So before in the past time that action was completed, not just now or not just before you are speaking. So it indicates a past perfect. So in the past time, long back, that action was completed. Now let's see some examples to understand it clearly. First example, having done with my work, comma, I took some rest. So what is the meaning of this sentence? I have done with my work, so I have taken some rest. That is the meaning of this. After my work is completed, after I have done with my work, I took some rest. So here, if you observe having, what is this having? It is an ing form. So it is participle. What is this done? This is a V3 form, which means this is perfect. So both together form a perfect participle. Next example, having failed, comma, she was forced to stay at home. She wrote an exam. In that exam, she failed. So that's why she was forced to stop her studies and to stay at home. That is the meaning of this sentence. So can you identify? This is a perfect participle in this sentence. A next example, being absent, comma, the child was given punishment. The child was absent for the school for so many days. So after he came to school, he was given punishment. What is the reason? The reason is he was absent for the school. So clearly, in short, we can mention this action by using this perfect participle. Being absent. So here I am using this being. So this is perfect participle. Next, having done his work, comma, he went out to play. So he has done with his work. So that's why after the work, he went out to play. Generally, when we use this perfect participle, it indicates that after that work, after his work was done, he went out to play. So this is perfect participle. Here done is perfect form and having is participle. Both together we are using in a sentence which indicates this is perfect participle. In the next sentence, being blamed, comma, he resigned his job. So what is the reason for his resignation? Because he was blamed. Being blamed, so that's why he resigned his job. So that sentence we can express by using perfect participle. This ing form is participle and this blamed is perfect. So here we are using perfect participle. Being blamed. So if we don't use this perfect participle, what will happen? Can we express in another form? Yes, of course. We can explain this sentence or we can express it in a different form. What is that? He was blamed in his office or maybe in front of his colleagues. That's why he has resigned his job. So like this also we can express. But in short, to minimize the length of the sentence, maybe in spoken English or written English, to minimize the length, we use this perfect participles. Being blamed, comma, he resigned his job. Simply we can express a sentence by using perfect participles. Okay friends, this is all about participles and types of participles. I hope you have understood this clearly. If you like this class, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.